Louis, I need advice.
Yeah.
I love when you talk about your kids.
Yeah.
I really do. And
You have a baby now, right?
14-month-old, and I'm starting to go to the playgrounds.
Yeah.
And
So am I. I don't have a kid.
I had another incident yesterday. I've had two major incidents.
Oh.
First of all,
what the fuck happened? Why are you having incidents?
first of all, I think all kids.
Exactly.
I think all. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you'd be the only one.
What's happening
All right.
to you?
I think all kids, first of all, are passive aggressive assholes.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
Well, no, they're not. They're just.
What?
They
Help me out.
don't have the layers yet.
Yeah, but I do. So when I see him act like that, I go, "You're a passive aggressive asshole."
People take in each other passive aggressively. You're not. The kid doesn't have any.
How about when there's a little sprinkler shooting water up, a kid will step on it and then go, "Oh, if I just move my foot like this, I could spray this little baby in the face." And I let that shit go on. Obviously, I don't want to raise a wimp.
No, that's true. They'll
and then they'll run away like, I know what I just did there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's passive aggressive.
So what happened that it was an incident, though?
All right, well.
Because that happens 50 times a minute.
Well,
playground.
But my kid is he's probably the smallest kid in the playground. I might have went to the
14 months, yeah.
playground a little early, but he's in a little puddle because that's what you do in New York City. You allow him to hang out in a puddle.
Yeah, and asphalt covered with,
Yeah, it's
homeless guy peed on.
Oh, it smells like shit. We got to shower and bathe him as soon as we get home.
Yeah.
So he's got a bucket in front of him filled with water. He's just discovering that he could fool around with a pail and water.
Yeah.
Kid comes running from easily 20 feet away. He's about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And tries to kick he does kick the pail like it's a football.
Yeah.
The pail, the water, everything goes flying into my kid.
Oh, wow.
And I jump up and I actually said, I don't give a fuck. This is an exact quote. I don't give a fuck how small you are. I will beat the shit out of you.
Really?
See?
You said that to a kid?
See, now,
Wow.
I knew Louis would not be able to
I was praying that
commiserate with you.
Louis would go, yeah, I totally get it. I lost my mind. And then a nanny popped up. Because as soon as I said that, I knew there's going to be consequences. I'm like, okay, if there's a father here, I'm fucked.
She doesn't give a fuck, though, right?
She didn't care. Nanny? She actually grabbed the kid and gave him a timeout.
Right. Yeah, he shouldn't have done it.
She knew that the kid. But then I'm standing there as all the other moms are looking at me like, wow, look at this fucking anymore. Asshole, right? Yeah. But then one mom kind of nuzzles up to me and goes, I just want to tell you, I'm glad you did that because that kid's a real asshole.
Yeah.
He broke 2 of my kids' toys. So I guess he's already a terror.
Yeah, look, I don't think you did the kid any harm. I'm more worried about you. That's
something you just probably shouldn't do.
I came in and
that just means you got to have a little more tolerance than that. And not for fuck the kid. Let him get cursed at. I don't give a shit. It's not going to help you with some moms. You might get to fuck that mom later if things, knows.
Louis knows that part of it. I go, the best, fuck the dog in New York City. If you're a single guy with kids, how are you not getting laid? These moms are bored all day.
Yeah.
They strike up conversations with you.
I never knew.
Fat and ugly.
You got to be a pig sticker. Right?
I never knew there was something going on. Like, I assumed if you had a kid and you went to the park and you played, like, this was a one-time deal where you would see people and then go home and never see them again.
You see them all the time.
Like these,
same
you see the same people.
Yep.
See, that's something I didn't even fathom.
Oh, God.
So that these moms, you're seeing them every day and the same dumb kids, and she's like, that kid's an asshole. Like, you get to know the kids are idiots and the parents are stupid.
Yes, you get to know.
You get to know all the people.
I don't think it's so bad that you did it in a way that you cursed out the kid. I mean, I think kids are overprotected, and
Louis, I'll be honest.
You got to get some consequences.
I'll be honest. I was out of my mind and it wasn't right. But then I came in and I told Jimmy and Ann, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this parenting thing because I'm going to lose my mind to a point I'm going to probably get the shit kicked out of me by somebody.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm
if it happens, then that'll be a correction.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
True.
If it doesn't happen, you'll learn that gives you power that you can wield.
And
you'll be fine.
I'm not being overprotective. If there's kids around his age range and he gets pushed over something, I'm letting all that shit happen. Absolutely. Right. But when it's a 5 or 6 year old, aggressively, pretty much almost kicking my kid in the head, I don't know how to handle that properly. I just don't.
Yeah, no, you're learning.
Finding out. I pushed a kid off my son yesterday in another park.
You pushed him off, though.
And
physically.
Not to the point where cops need to be involved. And then his mom comes running over, knows the kid was wrong in this instance, too, because my kid is really small. And then the kid will listen to the mom, and I go, you better listen to her, or you're going to find out the hard way. Was that bad?
Sometimes I've interceded with kids when their parents couldn't. Like, you know, when you see a parent just losing with a kid, I'll give a kid dirty looks, like kind of scare the shit out of them. Looks.
Yeah. You can really scare kids with looks.
Like when a kid's being a brat, like, no, I want it, and the parents just doesn't have the fucking strength. I'm sorry, honey, I want it, and I always stare at them. Like, I glare into their eyes and I don't look away. And the kid starts locking in going, why the fuck is that guy looking at me?
Yeah.
And I just stare at them. Like, yeah, I see what a piece of shit you are.
Yeah.
I see it. Because they do know.
Yeah.
They know they're being assholes. They know they're being pieces of shit.
It is a world I had no idea about, man. I mean, your kid wanders off and starts playing with another kid. Now, you're sort of following behind, but you're making it look like he's just on his own. And then all of a sudden, there's another parent there. And the first question you ask is, hey, how old's your kid? Every time. I don't give a fuck how old their kid is, but you all of a sudden you're doing small talk with somebody you would never talk to. Oh, she's 17 months, but mine's 14 months.
Oh, really? That's the whole...
Yeah. Over and over and over again. That's the conversation.
Sounds like Dullsville to me.
Oh, yeah. And then...
yeah, it's pretty boring, but...
And then either one of the kids...
I get the rage, though. I get that. That's happened to me before, where somebody's fucked with one of my daughters and I want to kill the kid. Or when you just see a kid walking around with a stick, like slamming it into the ground, and you're looking at him like, who the fuck is watching that kid?
He's looking for trouble.
Who's their parent? And then you realize, oh, it's a grandparent. Like they're out with their grandparents.
Yeah,
the grandparents don't do shit.
Oh, they don't have the
No.
One more and
gumption.
One more, and we can certainly move on. The other day, another kid. I had nothing to do with him. I didn't yell at him. Nothing. Kid, he's about 3, comes walking up to me, looks right at me, and hisses at me. And runs away.
Like a cat?
And I'm like, I want to fucking kick
Made
your
a
ass.
hissing noise at you.
I'm like, why are you hissing at me?
Because he's a dumb kid.
Kids are weird,
A lot of New York
man.
kids are raised in like alternative education, and they're given a very special education led by their own curiosity, and it turns them into really egotistical little assholes.
Little shitheads.
Yeah.
That's great.
Kids that go to public school are kind of checked by society.
Yeah, they got to fit in. They have the people that are more aggressive.
Yeah.
People that are more passive. It's their little society.
Figure out, yeah.
Right. They figure out people.
Fucking some of these kids, oh, they're awful. And there's a kid in my daughter's class who's not okay. I mean, this kid's vicious, and his mom
know
is
already, right?
Yeah, and his mom is just ugh. So I'll take moments and say, you got to stop that. I've said some pretty serious shit to that kid.
Yeah.
You got to get your hands off my daughter.
Wow.
I've said to him,
Wow,
off my
you've
daughter,
had to.
like he's a grown up, like he owns a gas station or something. Keep your hands off my daughter.
And the kid's personality is already set. I look around that
He's a
playground,
mess.
and I already know who's going to be in prison. You know the whole deal. You know the sweet kids.
Yep.
The asshole, like, tough
It's
guy
good,
kids.
though.
and-
It's good to observe the people, though, and parents. Like, I've seen all kinds of... There was the last place I lived before the one I live now, there was a park, and there was a gay dad who was a really stern gay dad. I'd never seen that before. He was really, really gay, and he was like, I'm going to slap you in the mouth if you don't stop. He was really strict and tough and very gay.
Very.
Anthony, stop it! Look at me, because I'm fucking serious.
This little tiny kid.
Yeah, and how do you...
Well, his kid doesn't know.
Yeah.
His kid grows up with him being the tough guy, so he doesn't go,
Right.
come on, Dad, you're queer.
He's like, stop with that voice.
He thinks that's what a, angry person sounds like.
You're
and it is.
trying to be angry and trying to give me that voice, but we all hear it.
Yeah.
It's certainly a weird,
I don't know.
a
Yeah,
weird world I'm
I
trying
can't
to
imagine.
adjust to. I'm really trying, but I don't want to talk to these fucking people.
You have to.
I got to talk
No, you
to
don't really
people.
have to.
You don't?
No?
Bring a paper, bring your phone.
I'm
just look at your hands and just give people one-word answers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because don't they come up to you? Because if
Yeah, they do.
your
and
kids
you
are
just
playing
go,
together, you're
how
like,
old's your, hey, how you doing? Huh? Did you come here yesterday? Yup. and then you turn your fucking face away from their face, and you feel them. You sort of, in your peripheral vision, you see them going, ugh.
Oh, what an asshole.
And then walking away, and that's the end of that person in your life. I do it all the time.
That's so hard to do. It's hard to be an asshole. It's very hard to be an asshole without this microphone in front of me.
No,
like out in public, I kind of want to be liked. And I'll be overly, like, if somebody's talking to me, I will, in my head, I'll be going, shut the fuck up. I'll literally, sometimes I even mouth it like a ventriloquist. I'm pretty good at, like I could smile and be like, why don't you shut the fuck up? Just shut the fuck up. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. And they're just talking. So I can't but I'll be like, yeah, nod my head and they'll keep going. Like, I'd love to be able to go, yup, nope.
I tend to do that now. I didn't used to, but I do that now. And sometimes if I take my kids to Central Park, there'll be people there with their kids. There's certain areas, like there's these waterfalls and your kids can play near them. And somebody will have kids and they'll recognize me. And me and my kids and their kids are playing.
Oh, now they're got it in.
Hey, you're on TV. And I'm like, yep, okay, girls, let's go home. It's the end of that.
You know, I saw that Louis guy.
To this guy. I don't care how much you're bonding with that kid. I don't care how nurturing that is.
That Louis guy from TV, what an asshole.
Yes.
I saw him in the park.
Totally.
And our kids were like playing and shit. And you just was a fucking asshole.
All I did was say, hey, I saw your show. His show's not even that good.
I
was being nice.
But that guy's dreaming like, oh, our kids are getting along.
Yes.
We're going to have play dates. I'm going to go to Louis' house. Nope. Sorry.
Not gonna happen.
Hey, we got a therapist on the line really quickly. Right. Steve calls the show from time to time. Steve, Connecticut, go.
Good morning, boys.
Hey.
Opie, I think you're 100% right on the money with what you did. We're living in a world that's a moral never land, and kids don't get consequences because everybody's afraid of being politically incorrect. I think you did exactly the right things.
Well, I'm worried because I know I'm going to go too far, and then I'm going to get the shit kicked out of me.
Well, I know it takes a village thing. Those kids don't just need their parents; they need other people. They need to find out from other people that you can't fuck around.
Right.
You're going to get a reaction.
This is your kid. If you're not going to protect them, who will? So I say you're right on the mark.
Oh, really? Telling a kid I'll beat the shit out of him. He was 5.
Well,
you're a therapist.
You don't need the language is for you. You don't need the language.
Right.
You know what I mean? The kid's he's not going to be particularly impressed. All I would say is fuck is wasted there. Mm-hmm. And it's only going to, it's only going to bum people out in a way that you don't need.
Yeah.
If you say to a kid, I don't care how little you are, I'm going to kick your ass or whatever, I will hurt you. If you say it perfectly cleanly, it's actually worse for the kid.
I'm going to try that
because it sounds real.
I'm going to try it next time.
So, are you? Or I'm
going to stay away from playgrounds for a while.
You're playing parental Russian roulette.
I know.
Because you've pulled it off a few times.
I know.
You've clicked on an empty chamber, and but one of these days a parent is really going to get mad. Maybe the mother will be there and the father, and then the father will come over, and now you got that confrontation.
I don't think that's
one that usually
happen.
A girlfriend would get you into.
Right.
You know?
Yes, a girlfriend who doesn't get
saying shit.
Yeah.
I've told that story in a fucking movie theater once, and there was a row of Hispanic, a whole family behind us. And just in front of us, just yapping, wouldn't stop. And my girl went from 0 to 100. Just went, would you shut the fuck up?
That's crazy.
And then it's like, oh no, you didn't say that to me. I was going, you fuck you and stuff. And then the guy that was with her actually went, he turned to me and goes, oh well, she put her in battle mode. Battle mode. And I'm just like, great. Now I got to diffuse this. Because I can't fight my way out of this. I had to diffuse it.
She's fucking with your dick. She's like,
yes, she's fucking with my dick.
Yeah.
And we actually wound up having to get up and go into a different theater to watch the movie because there was a threat of physical harm to her. And then I can't just sit there as she's getting her face pummeled. No. So I got to jump in, which means the guy's got to jump in.
Yeah.
And now there's a big brouhaha, and I don't need that. But what I'm seeing is something that's very similar you could get yourself into that type of brawl situation.
I'm fully aware. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm an idiot.
You know the thing that people seem
I know I'm an idiot, and I got to figure this shit out because it's going to get bad.
the thing that people seem to forget is that if it's not okay ever to hit anybody though. Like, even if you yell at if somebody yelled at your kid,
Right.
somebody called your girlfriend a cunt in public, you're still not allowed to hit them.
But a lot of people do, especially if you yell at a kid or
It's like whenever there's cops on a scene, whenever there's a fight and cops show up, they always remind everybody of shit that, like, well, he said the thing. It doesn't matter.
The cop has to say, like,
you're not allowed to hit a person.
You hit him because he said something.
Yeah, no matter. It doesn't matter what he said. You may not raise your fucking hand to another human being. Unless they were doing it to you. And that's the only reason you're allowed to.
Right.
And you have self-control like that?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hit anybody if they said something.
I was like,
it's unacceptable to hit somebody because of verbs that came out of their mouth. It's absolutely, it's amoral.
I will hit a father.
Now, what happens though in a situation where you're facing off? Like, there's a point where you go, there's a fight going to start, and it's probably best I get the first fucking lick in, you know?
Yeah, for self-defense. That's the only reason it's okay to hit anybody.
Yeah, okay.
Is to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Not because you're angry because they said some shit. When you fucking you're not allowed to do that.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
I'm surprised
I don't like fights.
Because you don't like what they said?
Yeah.
I don't like that, and so I get to fucking injure your body? That's ridiculous.
Roll up my hand into something hard
and punch you in the fucking eye and maybe blind you in your eyeball?
Because I didn't like what came out of your mouth.
And fucking introduce a random violent energy that could end with somebody dying.
Right. You never know.
Every time you're in a fight, you've rolled the dice.
Yeah,
Something really fucked up could happen.
There's been people that have punched people and they fall, bang their head, and they're dead. Some guy's in prison going, I just went to clock him in the face like I do all the time.
Because his kid was an asshole.
Yeah, he said something kind of a little untoward.
And now you're shackled at the ankles.
I wasn't pleased with the things he said. So now I'm in prison for the rest of my life, and he's blind. And we met and cried. There was a whole reunion.
We made up.
But then I still had to go back to my cell.
I'm in prison. Yeah. Oh, that sucks.
No, it's not okay.
All right. I got to work on it.
Oh, Opie.
The other thing is because he's so young and has just complete innocence still.
Yeah.
Like seeing I see it, but he doesn't see it yet. Disappointment.
Yeah.
How did you deal with that?
Get the fuck used to that shit.
That's brutal.
You got to let him. You mean for him being disappointed?
He's not disappointed yet, but all of a sudden he'll innocently go up to another kid to try to play, or hand him one of his toys, and the kid will either completely ignore him or rip the toy out of his hand and run away.
Yeah.
And my fucking heart breaks.
Yeah, yours is breaking.
Oh, I know he doesn't understand that yet.
Yeah, it's not that he doesn't understand. It's that he's okay. I mean, this is something I learned from my first daughter.
Yeah.
Was how to have any positive outlook on life at all. I learned it from her. I let her lead me out of the wilderness of that. Because to me, it's like, as soon as she was born, my first thought was, when is she going to realize that this is life is torture? Like, when is it going to hit her?
When does it hit?
Because she looks so happy, and she, I thought, because I always used to think about birth as this awful, you were in a womb and it was warm. Your body was filled with fluid, warm fluid. Like, there was no conflict.
Like being in the Matrix.
Yeah. Taking a breath is an immediate, like it's an invasion.
Yeah.
You can feel your body attack whatever came in that shouldn't have. The air is a little cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that's the way I look at life as a struggle, just being alive.
Right from the get-go.
Yeah. So I figured a kid is born, and then they're like, just irritated and angry, but she was so positive. She was so happy to be alive. And so I realized, to her, somebody taking, her reaching out to somebody and then walking away, she's like, well, somebody, something else will happen. I can do this by myself. Your kid isn't stupid. Your kid is just looking at life from a positive. Your kid's not like, oh, fuck, that kid walked away from me.
Because that's what you see.
That's what you feel.
That's what I'm seeing, actually.
Yeah, but you let the kid follow the kid's example. Like, a baby's a perfect person in a way. They're like an animal. They're like that. You can learn what human beings are really like from babies.
Right.
Because you're seeing a human instinct without any
bullshit
shit that's been pumped in from
so
other
you get
people.
It's like babies' diets are perfect. Because they just eat what they need. So all of a sudden your baby will only eat carrots for like a month. Well, it's beta carotene deficiency.
Just needs that.
Yeah, your baby's not like, oh, I can't stop fucking eating carrots. Your baby just wants that thing for a while. And they'll stay away from the grains you give them or whatever. You know.
I'm fucking learning some stuff today.
This to me, though, sounds like parenthood is a fucking nightmare. I don't see it.
Great.
No, it sounds like it's just years of this emotional roller coaster that a human shouldn't have to go through.
It is.
It's just.
But the attachment you have, it's hard to explain. It is great. I'm with Louis. I'm all in. I love it. But I'm trying to learn.
Well, yeah.
I'm trying to learn my way around it.
Well,
still.
that's so. As long as you're doing that, you're fine. As long as you're actually trying to learn and not trying to hold on to what you were like before.
Oh no,
that's
no,
it.
No,
just
no.
say goodbye, huh?
Oh yeah, but that's
a lot of that is
positive. You get rid of shit that because your life becomes just a series of cravings and disappointments and gray versions of shit that you thought you were going to get. But if you give up on all the things you thought you used to want, you start getting new shit from it.
A lot of that stuff has already left me. Absolutely. Yeah. I got some things I got to figure out, like how to not curse at little kids and things like that.
Right.
But in general, my life is drastically
The fact
different.
that you leave that situation introspective and asking questions from people you know means that you're doing fine.
Yeah.
If you were just a fucking kid and I said, fuck you, and his mom looked at me, I was like, fuck her. And then if you just stayed that way, you know, people, you can just see that guy's not thinking about what he's doing. Mm-hmm. He's not even gaining from the guy.
This might be impossible for you guys to even consider because you're so emotionally attached
but this
to your
just sounds
children.
like a hassle to you.
I understand. But are there things that you absolutely can't do now that you would love to be able to do, but you have kids? Like, I understand the great part is having the kid and there's all that love stuff and everything.
Yeah.
But like that aside, and I don't even know if you could put that aside, but if you could, put that personal thing that you're in love with this little human being. Are there things that you're like, fuck, man, I really want to do that?
Well, yeah, but some of them die down after a while, and you can do a lot. I can't think of anything I really can't do that I want to do. I mean, I wouldn't mind moving to another town. Sometimes I think about that.
Yeah?
Like, at this point in my life, what if I could move to San Francisco or Philadelphia for, or Canada or some shit? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't really do it because I got to maintain my kid's life. So there's a stability that I got to maintain.
Yeah, it seems
that I
to
can't
me
walk away from. But still, I mean, to me, the best thing in the world is to have kids and then get divorced. Because then you really can do anything you want.
Because it's more the wife that would hold you back
That's
than
exactly
the
right.
kids.
I have my kids half the week, and even if you get along with your wife, you have to make bargains and compromises with pretty much every moment of your life. Especially once there's a kid, you start. You got to share that responsibility. So you start every moment. It's like, where are you going? If you start leaving the house, wait, what are you doing? Because I would like to get the fuck out of here.
Oh, okay.
So where are you going right now? It better be. I'm just going to walk around. No, not good enough. You're sitting here. Because I'd like to walk around. So neither of us is going to get to walk around.
So we'll just be miserable.
We're just
sitting in
here
this
with
room.
the fucking baby till one of us has like an emergency reason to get out of here. That's what it starts being.
We take turns.
That's horrible.
We don't spend as much time as we used to together because we're taking turns because we don't have a lot of help.
It's really smart to do that, to take turns.
But we take turns, like,
each other.
You just made a great point. Why are we both sitting here? One of us can watch the kid. I do a lot of quality things with my son. So now I'm going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
She has her thing she wants to do, and we kind of take turns. But unfortunately, that means we're not together as much as probably we would like. Wow. But we understand that.
It's great that you're doing that. And if one person's awake, the other person should fucking be sleeping.
Yes.
So that they'll be useful when the other person finally taps out.
It's
the dumbest thing in the world. It's like having if you're driving a car and then you go just turn the other one on in the garage and let it run while you're driving one car.
Makes no sense.
Why would you do that?
Yeah, why would you
because
do
the car that's driving is like, no, if I'm out here dragging people and groceries around, you're going to at least be running, you piece of shit. Like if your cars were married to each other.
A lot of parents make that mistake where they put the kid in the room or whatever, and they both have to stay awake all night. He's making an amazing point.
If you guys have a good relationship then, because the only reason to share that shit is because you don't like each other.
Right.
Because you want to put each other through shit.
Through some hell.
No, that's the best is when you can do that. And you're doing the right thing by spending a lot of time with your kid because you start getting, it's like the thing you're dismissing in the first sentence. Yeah, I get the love, but.
Okay. That's
thing,
the big part.
That's the huge part.
It's like saying, look, I get that you like living blah, 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 but why not kill yourself? I mean, granted, life is worth living. Death is terrifying, but still, why don't you just die?
But there is a sacrifice that's being made by having children. I don't know whether it's that important of a sacrifice or whether the child is such a great thing that the sacrifice isn't even a sacrifice to you.
Well, for dads, it's the thing that you don't know automatically is that you should be with the kid.
Right.
So I kind of had this instinct, be with the kid is a lot. And then it's not a sacrifice. Like the fucking shit you have to do, the amount of errands you have to run, and shit you have to go, like the logistics of keeping food and supplies in the house. The thing I started doing is just always bring the kid with you. Mm-hmm. Always, I'll take him, and then the mom is like, fuck, great. Because your kid is great company. They're great. They're really fun to be with. If you go out, I used to love going out shopping for 50 things as long as I had my daughter with me. She's just somebody to talk to.
Right. And you see the world through their eyes.
Yeah, you get to show your kid like I used to go to the supermarket, which I used to hate doing. Yeah. But I'm like, I take a watermelon off the shelf and put it in her lap. Look at this. It's a fucking watermelon. You never seen one of those before, have you? And she's got this green. She's never seen I handed her first watermelon and watched her look at it and go, Jesus.
That's amazing.
And she just held it in her lap.
I see Travis laughing his ass off, too, because Travis is a new dad. We're relatively new, 2-year-old.
2-year-old. Yeah, that's right.
So Travis gets this, too.
I always gave my daughter access to the real world. I don't believe in, like, toys are shit. Toys are, like, fake things.
So, but a watermelon is like, holy shit, that's a watermelon.
Or just give her your computer. Just here, take this. Just give her fucking movie cameras and shit to just hold. And,
see, whenever I see kids doing that, all I can think of is they're going to break it. They're going to fuck it up.
They might. I might break it.
I think
that's true.
I don't take care of my shit anyway.
Following your logic, like you don't have a connection to the kids, so it's hard to explain.
Right.
Like you just see like other people's kids, and you're like, why would you do that? But as soon as your son is born, your life changes fucking instantly. Yeah. And it's hard to explain to anyone. And then maybe some of the stuff you miss, like we used to go down to the Caribbean every year. This year we didn't go.
Yeah.
I miss it, yes. But like Louis says, it's sort of pushed down though. I'm not craving it like, fuck, I can't believe we didn't go this year. It's okay.
Yeah.
And it's just okay.
See, that was my point. Like, that's okay.
Yeah, but we're going to go next year and I'm going to bring the kid and I know we're going to have a great time.
Everything they do that fucks with you is positive in the end. Like my kids, when they'd wake me up at 6 and I went to sleep at 3 because I'm a night person. Well, they wake me up and the feeling in my brain would hurt a lot. Like, I don't want to fucking be up right now. Yeah. But within 10 minutes, we're talking. I'm talking to them. And they're in the morning, they got a good attitude in the morning. I've got one eye open and I'm going, yeah, what? Daddy, I had a dream. Okay, what? And I'm just listening to it. And then I'm like, wow, you had that dream? That is, then you're getting into conversation with your kid and they're nice to you. I mean, some people have a contrary relationship with their kids. Yeah. And they are always, Dad! Like those kind of kids.
Yeah.
Fucking, I would tap right out of that life. I'd fucking dye my hair and get the fuck out. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
Both of my girls and I have really good and the little one and I, we fight sometimes and it's contentious, but never feels like a bad fun.
Yeah.
It's also when your kid is being an asshole, it feels good to know you're there to correct it and to say, nah, you're not. Like when I lock horns with my daughter, she wants something, and I'm not going to give it to her, and she's crying. I feel great.
Really?
Yeah. I feel great that I'm there showing her. Yeah, you don't get that. You don't get to have it.
And
why?
And
There's not a good reason. You just don't.
You just don't, because I said
don't.
so.
You just don't.
And there's no embarrassment in public places with temper tantrums and
couldn't
stuff.
Care less. No,
you couldn't care less.
Yeah, I don't think
Shut
I'm going to
the world out
either.
You don't care
because I hate that. I look around, and when kids are being like loud and stuff, I don't mind. I do mind all the time. But there are certain places I understand. Like, all right, I'm in a mall. There's a kid, he doesn't want to be here. He's going to be yelling and screaming. I could get away from the situation. But there are other places, movie theaters, things where I'm like, shut that fucking kid up, or take him the fuck out of the movie. You're missing the movie. Take your kid out, pick him up, go out to the lobby and fix that problem.
Well, but if the kid is the same, I mean, the kid, I always, though, also remember that your kid is a citizen of the country, too. Your kid has rights. Like, I go crazy when people, like, fucking knee my kid in the face because they're not looking.
Holy shit.
You know, they don't give, a lot of people don't give a shit. And it's like, my kid has fucking rights, you know? So to me, it's like the kid who's yelling in a movie theater is no different than the fucking dirty Hispanics you were talking about. It's the same thing. They're just being loud assholes. The kid is,
Don't you think you could avoid some of that stuff by raising them properly, though? I know you're not going to be perfect, but
I don't think
my kid's going to be acting up in.
No, my kids wouldn't do that.
Yeah?
You can tell when you look at the parent that they're weak.
Yes,
and that they don't do it at home. They don't try. They get underwater with it.
They're allowing too much.
Yeah, I don't.
Not too much.
No, my kids don't. They don't make a scene. They generally don't.
Yeah,
and if they, and also the other thing is, people get too bent on getting through their day the way they planned it. So when your kid explodes and you're trying to push through the day, I cancel everything.
Yeah.
If we're getting into a hairy thing with one of the kids, I just put everything down on the sidewalk and sit on the sidewalk and go, we're not going now.
See, you have this.
Let's talk about this. That's because I don't have. That's because I'm not married.
I
get to do that.
Wow.
If you're married, you got to fucking plan everything. This is again, if you're getting along, this isn't a bad marriage.
Right.
You have to plan everything. You have to agree on every fucking detail of how something's going to go down, and you have to stick to your plans. That's a nightmare. I took my kids camping a couple weeks ago, and the reason it worked is because I was able to do it myself, and I had the power to pull the plug on the whole thing.
You did your way.
Yeah, I said let's just get in the car and just go south. And I went to a sporting goods store with the girls, and I'm buying a tent and sleeping bags, and like, are we going camping? I was like, we might. I said, I don't know yet. I haven't decided if this is going to happen. We're going to buy these things. We may or may not use them. So we put all this shit in the trunk, the camping stuff, and we drove. In my head, I was like, I didn't have a place to stop. I didn't use a map. I just fucking drove down the Jersey Shore, and we saw a hotel. So let's stay there tonight. Stayed in a hotel. Next day, I always had the option to just run back home.
It's like you're on the lam.
Yeah, exactly. Found a ferry that goes to Delaware from New Jersey in Cape May, and this beautiful ferry boat. Just found it. Went to Cape May.
I'm all about that.
Oh,
I don't like a plan.
It was so good.
I just want to jump in the car and go sometimes.
And the kids don't know, and they don't give a shit. And then there's a state park. I see a sign for a state park, and I go, hey, do you want to go camping and sleep in a tent tonight? And they're like, yeah. And so I pull over. But again, as I'm putting them, I never looked at the instructions for the tent. I opened the tent at the campsite.
Yeah.
And as I start building it in my head, I'm like, if this gets gnarly, there's a fucking hotel 10 minutes from here. We'll just go to the hotel.
Kept it
safe. But we did it. We spent the night in the middle of the wilderness.
Yeah.
A 6 and a 9-year-old. And there's a well with a pump. And they were cleaning and we made dinner. It was fucking amazing. It was one of the greatest nights I ever spent on earth.
It's the best way to do things. I was recently in Philly for a birthday party, and we had to go all the way up to Rochester to hang out, at Brother Weeze's place. He has a cottage on the bay. So we're leaving, and my wife goes, where are we staying tonight? And we were leaving at 8:30 at night. I go, I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out. And to me, that was really exciting.
Yeah.
I know there's a million motels out there. We're not going to sleep in our car.
No.
But I don't know where we're sleeping yet.
No.
I don't know how many hours I want to drive. We might drive all the way.
Yep.
I might get a cup of coffee and just make it all the way to Rochester. Or we might stop in an hour because I'm like, fuck this, or maybe 3 hours. And it's freeing.
See, that
It is. It's great. I mean, that's what with my girls, I called it a road trip. We just said, we're on the road. We're not going, where are we going? I don't know.
Yeah. No real
we just went on a road trip. And because they're not fucking nosy grown-ups.
They don't have to know.
Well, how far is it? Where are we going? Can you just find out? Can you call? They're just in the back seat reading and having a good time. And then once in a while I'd stop and go, get out here. What is this? It's a national preserve. Look at the birds. They're like, wow. And then we're camping. We fucking camp. We wake up, we break camp. And then next thing you know, they're in Washington, D.C. They had no idea how close they were. I'm like, this is the nation's capital. Look at Abraham Lincoln. They're like, oh, my God. And I wrote my manager right before I left because I thought I might be in D.C. to say, do you know anybody at the White House? It's like, do I have any connection to the White House? But they didn't know this. If I had a wife, I think I might be able to. Do you really know anybody? You know, did you get us the thing at the White House? But that morning I woke up, the morning we got to D.C., and they said, we got you a tour with one of Obama's speechwriters has a fucking he wants to get into comedy.
Oh, shit. So you had to listen to his
Yes, I just take my daughters to the White House. They have no idea. Just come on. Just come over here. And we go up to the gate, and I tell my name, and they open the gate to the fucking White House. And we walked in and had a personal tour by this dude.
And looking at it from a kid's perspective, that's way better.
It's a great day.
Because they have no idea what's going to happen.
But they also don't have an idea that is an amazing dad right there.
Oh, yeah.
That is like
I went to the White House.
Super dad just took him camping, White House, friggin' a hand pump.
Yeah.
That's great shit.
It was insane.
And that's not like, oh, fuck, all right, let's go,
But anyway,
let's go to the mall, buy some shoes.
Exactly.
What Louis teaching you, it's not like everything has to be planned and stuff. You could just go with it, even though, like in my case, it's a 14-month-old. You would think maybe we should have a planned fucking.
And that's the thing I
setup.
always thought, like, okay, and from hearing, spontaneity, like, disappears when you have kids.
Well,
but
sure,
you just, like, that,
if you're on your own,
is the ultimate in spontaneity.
You can do it, and they don't know how. I mean, I'm sort of looking ahead a day, and I'm looking at possibilities. I'm using my iPhone and finding shit.
Sure.
But if the White House thing had fallen through, they never would have known it was even on tap.
Yeah, right. No disappointment.
No, you just do. Oh, okay, we got this. Come on over here.
Yeah,
let's do this.
You could have gone to the park across the street
Yeah.
and look at homeless people, and that would have been cool too.
And then at the end of the whole trip, we had to drive home. So it was like 5-hour drive.
Yeah, that's
and I
about right.
told them, you're going to pay for the trip now. It's 5 hours of driving through fucking New Jersey. It's not going to be in Delaware.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
but
that's payment.
Yeah, it's worth it.
That's something, man.
Yeah, I don't think being a parent has to be a major sacrifice. You're certainly making sacrifices, but it doesn't have to be so drastic.
Yeah, you take your kids to what you do, and I mean, as their lives get more involved, you have to start. It's hard in New York. It's hard because you have to manage all their lives.
Yeah.
You have to go to all their shit. You have to arrange all their shit.
You can't let them outside in it.
It's like a lot, but it becomes a traffic. It becomes a traffic jam in your head that you just learn to.
Yeah,
it just becomes second nature.
See, I like sleep. See, and that's something you don't seem to get a lot of. I noticed when you talk to parents. I like guns. Guns and children, don't really go together that well. Anytime you hear about that combination, it's never good. Mm-hmm. I like drinking a lot.
Yeah.
That seems to be a bad thing around kids.
Yeah, you can't have like the Martin Sheen in the hotel room nights.
Right.
When you have a kid, you can't.
But I'm thinking
where somebody will call you, how are you? And you're like, oh, fine. And they don't know that it's been like 72 hours.
Yeah, bender. Just the total. Benders are out.
Yeah, they're gone.
No more benders.
Well, Kenny told me once that he used to like to drink a lot. Club Soda Kenny. He had his pops,
Yeah.
I go, why'd you stop drinking? He goes, because kids don't understand hangovers.
Yeah.
So that was his thing. He's like, fuck this. I'm not going to wake up after drinking all night, 3 hours sleep.
Like if a kid
deal
tries
with
to
a kid
pound
and
you
a
on the
hangover.
head and wake you up at 6 a.m. when you have a raging hangover
Yeah.
and want to sleep till noon, there's a problem.
But see, I would consider that an upgrade to your life. Though.
Right.
Look,
Look, I'm not
I
saying.
would look at that as an
fuck
improvement.
that. I'm sacrificing a hangover for kids. Fuck that.
Suddenly you're getting up at 6 with a clear head and actually greeting your kid with breakfast when they wake up. You're actually a better human being now.
I do understand where that's coming from. I'm not trying to sell the hangover part as the one of the sacrifices.
You really got to get rid of selfishness.
Yeah, but again,
that part
have
has
kids
to go.
and then get divorced because I get both.
Right. Okay, yes.
My kids are with me half the week, 3.5 days, and it's not. So I'm not visiting with them. I'm really raising them, but I get a whole half of the fucking every week.
So does it affect
I'm just a grown up?
You're dating, with dating.
I do
and stuff.
whatever I want. Yeah.
So that's not an
when I'm
issue.
with the kids. That's time to be with the kids.
Yeah.
And also, I'm a better father because when I'm with the kids, I put everything else aside. I don't have to juggle kids, and I'm also self-employed, and what I do, I can control.
Right.
When I work, even on my show, when we're in production, we only shoot half a week. I don't
really?
I don't
You
work,
don't do
and
the whole week.
That's one of the reasons I did the show the way I did, because I don't want to have to work 5 days a week.
Sit there 5 days a week. And,
because I don't have a wife at home. So if my kids are at my place and I'm working, they're just like, why do I have custody of my kids just so they can be with some lady I fucking hired? It's pointless.
Yeah.
It'd be better if they were there with their mom.
Right.
But because I control my show, we shoot half the week. And then when I don't have the kids, I work like 14-hour days. And then when I do have them, I just fucking, it's just me and them.
Hey, John from Allentown says enough with the kids talk, so we better stop because John's not into it.
Fuck yourself.
Fuck. No, that guy's John from Allentown. What are you, nuts?
Yeah.
Hey, John.
Yo.
What's up?
Hey, enough with the kids talk, man. I got a 4-year-old and stuff, but boring already.
I don't think it's boring.
Oh,
it's
well,
boring to you,
look at
and that's
that.
fair enough, but...
Do you got to explain things to people? Like, this is a whole take between two guys.
A very different take.
Varying parents. One guy that doesn't have kids and can't even fucking understand it.
That's what I mean.
We're conversing as human beings, you tool.
Boy, you really got under your skin.
I'd like to punch him for saying that.
There's a guy, he couldn't hang around. 15 days in jail.
What?
Because he got in a fight with a father.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
And another guy detained for 2 hours for telling a kid that he was going to knock him out. Do you want to talk to Mike?
A threat of violence.
Mikey.
Could be a problem.
I've brought this up probably 3 or 4 times already on the show because I am deeply concerned in my own brain that I got to figure this out sooner than later. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, man, it was 4th of July, and I took my wife and 2 kids to a fair. And there was a line of kids, and these older kids kept knocking them down. So I just walked over and I leaned into one of the older kids that was knocking kids down, and I said, hey, I leaned in, thank God. And I said, hey, you knock another kid down, I'm going to knock you the fuck out.
Mm-hmm. Good for you.
Well, yeah.
So what happened, though?
20 minutes later, I'm taking one of my kids to the bathroom. 2 cops come out of nowhere.
Oh, boy.
They pull me aside. My whole family had to stay there for 2 hours, and I started losing my mind. Thank God my buddy was there who's a lawyer, and thank God I denied it from the beginning to the end, saying I never said anything. And I kept saying to the cops, let me ask you something. 15-year-olds are here at the fair. I'm here. I'm a 40-year-old guy at the fair with my family. Who do you think came here to cause trouble? Nope. They kept me for 2 hours, man. They wrote me up. I have some whatever kind of record now.
Oh.
Wow, man.
When I was a kid, if my kid came to me and said, "Hey, some old guy threatened me," I would have gotten slapped, and my father would have said, "What did you do?"
What did you do?
Yeah.
Times have changed. He's right about that.
Maybe for the better.
He's right.
What'd you do?
Hey,
Stop being an asshole.
No, he's right, though. I mean, he has a right to say that. The kid you said it to was 15?
Yeah, I don't know. They were like early teens.
Yeah, fuck that.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah,
That's right.
If you're a teenager, you're
never-
a fucking grown-up.
Yeah.
This is in suburbia, guys. I'm in suburbia, New York, upscale area. The kid went and told his dad some guy threatened me, and it was a nightmare, man.
You know the thing about that?
The dad should have confronted you.
Boys that are bullies are fucking pussies. That's the worst part. And I've seen that many times. If you go up to a boy
Yeah.
who's being a little vicious bully, and you say cut the shit or you're sharp with them, they just turn into little babies. They are the most fragile little fucking pussies.
Really?
All bullies are. That's one thing. One thing that's great about being on the play yard and being with kids is you find out about people that way. Like you see little bullies and you see that energy, that aggressive energy, but you realize that right next to it is just a little fucking pissy pants.
What makes that?
Loser little fucking kid.
What kind of parenting makes a bully, by the way? I have no idea.
I don't know.
You haven't seen enough of that?
I don't know how it happens.
Well, they just turn into fucking. Because I've seen it in school and stuff, and it goes through life.
Yeah, it's not.
You know,
it's not economic. It's not.
You have a 70-year-old fucking asshole bully. So it just happens.
I got a real good question coming in for Ann. Eric and Boss, I don't have time to go to the phone right now. When did you realize you didn't want kids? And let me answer. The question, I always knew I wanted kids. I was just in horrible relationships and knew I wasn't going to be stupid and, have kids with someone I wasn't sure about.
I don't know if my parents fucked me up about having kids because it was just, oh, God. It was just a nightmare being like a kid and all that fucking bullshit going on, the constant yelling.
Well, you had a bad.
Oh, it was awful.
You had a bad family, right?
Oh, it was terrible. Just yelling constantly. Just, hey, son of a bitch. Fuck you, Joey, you fucking ass. Fuck you, Rose. And I'm like, I'm just crying in the middle. Shut the fuck up. I'll give you something to cry about. It was just constant turmoil. And then me and my brother, just two kids trying to talk. And, we had bunk beds. And we go to bed. We'd have our bedtime. It's like 7:30. And Joe's was like 8 or something like that. And then by 8 o'clock, we'd start talking. And then I hear, I don't want to hear another word in there. It's like we couldn't talk.
That's all you had was that little time to talk.
Yes, just to chat. And then he would come in and my father would put his belt on the doorknob and be like, don't make me use this. And the glistening buckle swinging back and forth. I'm just looking like, oh, we can't talk. It's lights out, motherfucker.
Well, so you have this bad association with having a family. I
horrible
get it. And
one.
now you're in your own, this is like your whole life was defined by it because now you have your own home.
Yeah.
You have fucking guns and, porn at your fingertips.
Right.
A nice big air-conditioned car.
Oh,
and you don't want to fuck with that.
Right.
I totally get it. I totally get it.
But can I add this to the equation?
Yeah.
You're really close with your family.
I am very close with my family.
But you're really close with your mom, your brother, and your sister.
Yeah.
You guys get together a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who wants to make that investment all over again? I mean, it wasn't worth it, was it?
And my brother and sister have kids. So it's like they got one each, not together. That would be weird. But I like when they come over. Like yesterday, my brother and he brought little Layla over, and they went in the pool and everything. And then she loves the water and cute as a button, leaves. And it's great. And then they pick up and go and while they're there, I'm not like fucking kids, son of a bitch. Like I'm making faces and googie faces and having
excited
fun.
to see them?
Yeah, it's cool. Like I enjoy when the kids are around, but like then I'll just have a debaucherous party at the house, and and thank God there are no kids around.
Well, there are kids, but they're the ones you're fucking.
Well, this is how do you define kid? That is the true question.
Let me get these kids out of here so I can bring those kids over.
Bring the other kids over.
Let me go to Coke Logic from Chicago. Coke, what's up, brother?
Hey, you just took the call about the guy threatening the teenagers for picking on his kid. You kind of let it slide that you revealed earlier that you threatened a 1-year-old.
No, it wasn't a 1. It was like a 4 or 5-year-old probably.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that guy.
And I'm saying I was wrong, Coke Logic. I know I'm wrong. But but if it's a 15-year-old, fuck the 15-year-old. I'll curse him out, no problem.
You know what you find out too is that parents, like the thing that it takes a village. I think it's that it takes a village to keep to support each other, the parents.
Right.
It's not about helping the kids.
Right.
It's not about the kid learns how to weave from this one parent and then learns how to throw a pot in this other house. Mm-hmm. It's that when the mom wants to kill her fucking kid, the village comes over, gives her a shot of whiskey, and tells her, just take a breath. I know how you feel. Yes, he's an asshole. Your husband's a piece of shit, or whatever it is. So,
but
that when you're going to have more moments like that, and every time it happens, a parent's going to come up to you like that woman did. That's really the significant thing that happened, is that someone else came up and said, look, that was inappropriate of you, and I give you license to have done it.
Right.
Because that kid's an asshole.
Yeah, and he is an asshole.
You're going to fuck up over and over again. You shouldn't have done that, but shouldn't have done that over and over again.
A bunch of times.
And other parents, they're there for you. I've seen that a few times, like a parent melts down, loses it, and everybody else just sort of steps in, picks up the fucking shit the kid dropped. Yeah. And just helps, puts the parent back together, gets her through the line. I've been in that role a million times, like in airport security. Fucking parent traveling alone.
Yeah.
Trying to fold a stroller while some kid has no fucking sympathy for the 50 things she's doing.
Right.
And is poking her. Or one thing a lot of kids will do, because they're testing their parent, is try to run through security. Or run in an area that they know they're going to cause like a fucking international shutdown.
Yeah.
So you'll do, as a parent who sympathizes, you'll just take the stroller from her and fold it for her.
Help her out.
Yeah, or grab the kid by the arm a little too hard when they try to run away. I've done that a couple of times.
Goon arm the kid.
Yeah.
Man, it's a weird world.
I don't know.
I obviously had no fucking idea what I was getting into.
That's another thing. I think I would if I was a parent, I'd be the one that just buys the kid
everything,
toys, and throws it on the floor and just goes, "Here you go, fucking play with yourself." And I would just continue watching TV or going in the pool and
let it be known there's a bunch of people applauding you for not having kids. So it runs the gamut here.
I just don't think I'm cut out for it.
Not everybody should have them, and you shouldn't have a kid.
See, I have the means.
Please don't.
And I know, exactly. I have the means. I think I wouldn't go crazy, but I really like where I am. And I don't want any monkey wrench thrown in there.
100%.
I might regret it, because people always say, well, you're going to regret it later in life. It's like,
no, you won't.
What the fuck? I want to have a bunch of kids crying at my deathbed? No. Gives a shit. You're fucking dying anyway.
You're not going to be that much comfort.
Yeah, at that point, it's just, whatever.